Hey there, quirky folks! I'm your host, Anna, and today we're going to look at the Marvel characters that Henry Cavill could play. Rumor has it that he is close to taking a role in the MCU. It would be amazing if that happens. He is obviously amazing as The Witcher and Sherlock. But before the MCU, I'd reckon that he should return as Superman in the DCEU. That was the part he was born to play, and he still has a lot to give as Clark Kent. He should strongly be considered for James Bond as well. In fact, with the current House of the Dragon trend, I'd say that he could also play an amazing Aegon Targaryen if a flashback or a spin-off series ever happens. But I guess his return as Superman isn't confirmed, and the Bond producers may have already looked past him because he is playing a spy called Argyle. Apple TV Plus is looking to make a franchise out of that film, so Argyle may be here to stay. Hence, Henry Cavill would probably be free to take on the MCU role, or perhaps a franchise itself. Reed Richards and Hercules are already taken. But before we look at the other Marvel roles he should take on, I'd love it if you guys would hit the subscribe button and support our channel. Okay, so my first pick for him is obviously Captain Britain. A member of the Braddock family has already been name-dropped in Avengers Endgame. So we know that Brian Braddock, aka Captain Britain, is headed to the MCU. Who better to take on this role than Mr. British over here? Just look at these concept arts of Cavill as Captain Britain. He looks brilliant as Captain Britain, and Marvel should definitely bag him for this one. He could lead his own franchise, and he could even team up with MCU's new London-based team that is being set up with Blade, Black Knight, and maybe Moon Knight. They could all form the MI-13 squad. And if not Captain Britain, then Henry Cavill could be our next Wolverine. Logan is coming in sooner rather than later, and Cavill's name had already come up a few years ago as he was rumored to play Wolverine in Captain Marvel 2. Playing The Witcher for 2 seasons, he has shown that he is capable of displaying a rage mode. So with his perfect physique, his hairy body, and acting chops, he has what it takes to be a good Wolverine. But if you're not completely sold on this one, then Cavill could play Hyperion. A majority of us love Cavill as Superman, and many would argue that WB has been wasting his potential all these years. So maybe Marvel could take an advantage of the opportunity by casting Cavill as Superman's MCU counterpart, that is Hyperion. They could show WB what they have been missing out on, and Cavill could obviously play Hyperion really well. But I'd argue that he'd be even better as the Sentry. This is one of the most powerful characters to exist in Marvel Comics, and he is yet another Superman-type character. So again, Cavill could portray the role with perfection. But what's great about this particular character is that he also has an evil counterpart called the Void. So Cavill would get to play the good and the bad side of a very conflicted character and showcase his range as an actor. And that way, we'd also get the evil Superman kind of role that Snyder was setting up for him. But if you think we've already seen him as Superman and he should play something new, then Marvel could bring him in as Wonder Man.
Hey, what's all the fuss about?
A Wonder Man series is reportedly under development. Simon Williams could show up very soon. He is a Hollywood movie star who also has a crazy set of powers. Nathan Fillion was originally cast as Simon Williams back in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but his role was cut out of the film. So, if Marvel doesn't bring him in for the upcoming series, then they could move ahead with Henry Cavill. But here's an interesting out-of-the-box idea. I believe that Henry Cavill could be a really awesome Mephisto.
In the details, Bev.
That's not the only place he is.
We've seen how Tom Ellis played the very handsome and extremely threatening devil in Lucifer. So just imagine a similar suited vibe for Henry Cavill, who could dress up as James Bond would and actually be the Demon Lord Mephisto. Ever since WandaVision, Mephisto has been popping up in everyone's theories. People thought that he'd be in multiple Phase 4 projects. But sadly, he still hasn't gotten an appearance in the MCU. Well, we're sure that Mephisto is not far away from us, as they've been making several devil references to tease us. So, he could show up soon, and Cavill would be the one to bring him to life. But if you're not interested in this idea, then I think he could play another villain with Ares.
Do you understand me, my son? Yes, Father.
Thor: Love and Thunder gave us the debut of Hercules with Brett Goldstein's cameo. So, a solo Hercules project just became inevitable. Whether it happens before Thor 5 or after, it remains to be seen. But you could make an educated guess that Hercules could be battling his brother Ares in the outing. Thor Ragnarok proved that Ares already existed in the MCU, and I'd love it if Henry Cavill plays the part. He could be a formidable villain against the God of Strength. Another character that Cavill could play is Nova. The upcoming Nova project is set to feature both Richard Rider and young Sam Alexander. So, Henry Cavill could easily play Richard Rider and become this powerful cosmic being. He could then feature in the next team of cosmic heroes that might form at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I am presuming that it would be the MCU's version of the Annihilators. Speaking of cosmic characters, Cavill could also play Quasar. In the comics, Quasar has connections with the Eternals. So, he could be brought into the mix in an Eternal sequel. And when that happens, Henry Cavill could be the one showing off those shiny quantum bands as Quasar. Instead of Nova, he could pick this unfamiliar character and make him a household name. He could join the Annihilators even as Quasar. But I know that most people, including Henry Cavill himself, wouldn't keep Quasar as a top priority. But I believe that he could go for the mutant leader, Cyclops. Henry Cavill has the kind of face that would look great as Scott's visor. He could also portray the great leader that Cyclops is supposed to be. And we've already seen him look marvelous while firing his heat vision. So instead of a mutant like Wolverine or any other character on this list, Cavill could play Cyclops and lead MCU's X-Men franchise. But which of these roles do you think Henry Cavill should play? Do you have any other Marvel roles in mind for him? Or do you think he should be back as Superman instead? Let us know in the comments. Hit the like button if you agree with our choices. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.